Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel, and I'm back in the kitchen because I want to prepare a dessert. This is called a Carlota de Limon. It's a lemon Carlota. It's a really nice little refreshing dessert. Super easy to make, only 5 ingredients. No bake. You're going to stick it in the refrigerator or even in your freezer if you want a quicker solidification of your dessert. So let me tell you what the ingredients are going to be. You're going to need a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. You're going to need 12 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. Now this one says it's 14 ounces, so you know how some of it sometimes gets stuck in the bottom, it doesn't get all poured out. I'm not going to worry about it. I think I can do 12 ounces out of that. We're going to do 3/4 cups of squeezed lime or key lime. You're going to use Mexican limes for this. I squeezed out 2 of them. It gave me a lot of juice. But you know what? I happened to have one of these little things, so I decided to top it off and finish it up. So I had 3/4 cups there, but I have plenty of limes here so that I can obviously do that. So make sure you have some. If you have little tiny little key limes, you're probably going to need maybe 6 or 8 of them. So get yourself a bunch of them. If you're using regular sized lemons like this, you might need maybe 4 or 5. And these big ones, about 3 of them. But make sure they're nice and soft so you can squeeze a lot of juice out of them. You can roll them around in your hand or on the counter. Sometimes even putting them in the microwave helps, just a few seconds. Now I'm going to be doing a double batch, so that's why I've got more cans over here. So don't pay attention to that. We're going to need half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I have vanilla flavoring. It has extract in it. I'm going to go ahead and use it. We're going to be needing 2 sleeves of these Maria cookies. Preferably grab the ones that say Maria's. If not, you can just grab just a regular cookie, you know, that looks like a little soft cookie like this. It's a little crunchy, but like a biscuit, or what is it called? I can't even think of the name. But anyway, you can use a digesters or something like digestive biscuit. You can use some of those if you have that. All right, so let's go ahead and start mixing. I've already squeezed out enough juice to make one of the batches. We're going to be needing a blender. My mouth is watering, you guys. We're going to need a blender for this. And I need a little bit more juice in here to actually be 3/4 cups. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'm going to be cheating here. That's okay. That's real lemon in here. All right. Or real lime. I grabbed the lime one. I already happen to have it. I had it in my fridge. So I'm using that. Okay, so now we're going to open up some cans so we can go ahead and pour those in. But let me go ahead and pour in the half a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. And after I do this, I'll do another batch. But first, this one. Now, I've made this before, and I think I used like an 8x8 baking dish to put it in there and then put it in the fridge. But I'm going to be making some to give to my neighbor. So I got some little containers, some little plastic containers for that purpose. Okay, here we go with our 12 ounces of evaporated milk. So far, we've got juice, evaporated milk, and vanilla. That's 3 of the ingredients. We need the 4th one there, and then our 5th, because I told you there was 5 ingredients. The 5th one we're going to set it aside for now. We're going to put 4 of them in the blender. There we go. I want to leave about 2 ounces in there. I mean, put the whole thing in there, so I'm going to hurt it. Okay, we're going to put all of this, and then we're going to take it over and pop it on the bottom portion of my blender and blend this up. You just do it on a medium speed, low to medium, slow. You don't want to do it too fast. You don't want to get too many bubbles in there. So let's go ahead and do that and be back with that. All right, so I've got the containers. I did wash these. Like I said, I want to make 2 batches, but I might have a little bit too much for just this one size. But of course, like I said, use a deeper dish. 8x8 is a good one. A 9x13 might be too big, but you can always double up the recipe. All right, we're going to pour a little bit of this on the bottom and spread it out. Just a little bit of this on the bottom. A little bit more. Guys, I gave it a little taste. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Oh, lemony. Okay. Once I've got that spread out, I'm going to grab our 2 sleeves. We're going to see if we need both of them in the smaller container. But here's what these little cookies look like, so you get an idea. I said they were soft, they're crunchy. Okay, so just start putting them at the bottom, make a layer. We're going to pretend we're making a lasagna. Ooh, and I like how 3 of these fit in a row in here. All right. And if you have a little spaces, you can break some and, you know, fill it in wherever you need. Get that on here. Okay, I'm just going to break that one to push it into there. There we go. Break a little bit of it so it fits. There we go. Finally broke. Okay. Then I can move some of these out of the way and push some of these little bits into there. Put that one there. There we go. There. Let's get some over here. There we go. Just like that. And then we're going to add some more of our creamy filling here. And we're just going to keep doing this. And we want to end up with a creamy top, okay? The last layer is going to be a creamy top. And you want to make sure you get lots of cookie coverage in there, okay? And then we cut a little piece off here. A piece off here to fit right here. And use these 2 little pieces there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to continue with another layer, hopefully another layer of cookies, and then make sure the last bit of this is just on the top. All right, I'll be right back with that. All right, so I've managed to do 4 layers of cookies and put a kind of a thin layer between that 3rd and 4th one, just because I wanted to get another layer of cookies. But these are going to soak up a lot of that cream and get real soft and kind of mushy inside of there. But then we're going to stick it in the fridge. Obviously you can stick it in the freezer if you want it to set a little bit, you know, a little bit more. But you don't want it to be like super hard, because then we're going to want to cut into it. Okay, and then serve ourselves either a little square, or if you just want to scoop it out with an ice cream scoop, you can do it however you want. But okay, so I almost used up, you know, 2 whole packages. So make sure you do have 2 packages, okay? And I'm going to pour, I think, the rest of this on here. Yep. Whatever's left in here, I'm just going to scrape it all out with my spatula. Okay, smooth it out on top. You want to make sure you end up with a good amount to put on the top, so you get a nice coverage with this nice base of condensed milk and evaporated milk. Okay. Now, let me just get the very last drops of this. I don't like to waste, I don't like to leave anything in the bowls, you guys. I like to scrape them good. So I'll do that, and then we're gonna do a little bit more, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it either in our freezer or our fridge. All right, so there we have nice coverage at the end, and then I'm gonna take one of my limes, key lime or regular Mexican limes, and I'm going to zest some of this on top. Actually, you know what? I just thought of something. Just use lemon zest if that's what you want, or lime zest actually. You can take some of these cookies and kind of crush them up a little bit, and I'm just crushing them in my hand. You can put them in a little baggie or something and pound them up, crush them that way, or your processor, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to crumble some of this on top. There's some nice big bits in there. I don't mind them. But you know, I think it's better when they're nicely crushed. All right, we'll do that. And then we can add some more of this zest. A little pretty green color on the top. It looks so pretty. Make sure you twirl your lemon, or actually this is a lime. Twirl it around so you're not getting any of the bitter part. And then we just get it like that. And that is ready to be put away. I am going to go ahead and cover this with the lid that it came from. Now, if you're interested, I obviously am not sponsored by it, but if you're curious, I am using these Glad, it says takeaways. This is an 84 ounce or 10 and a half cups or 2,408 milliliter. It doesn't tell me, you know, dimensions of it. It just says a rectangle, 84 ounce. So this is what I'm using, and look how much I got in there. The only thing I had left over from the amounts of ingredients that I told you was little bags of the cookies. But you know what? You save these breakfast, just had a little coffee left over, dunk them, have them. Oh, some chocolate milk, delicious. Okay, we'll put those aside. We're gonna stick this. Actually, I'm gonna make another batch, and I'm actually gonna put them in the freezer. I'm gonna go ahead and give this batch right now that I've ready to my neighbor. She can go ahead and put it into the fridge or freezer, whatever she likes, and I'll just give her instructions, and then she can just eat it when she's ready. But I am going to make another batch, and when that is done and been in the freezer or the fridge long enough to set, I will bring it out, and we're going to finish up serving this up. All right, everyone, it's been over an hour, and I've had this in the freezer, so I thought, let's go ahead and cut into it. We can't get little squares. Like I said, we can scoop it out, so let's try and do that, but take a good look how it looks right now. All right. I'm going to use my knife just in case I can get a nice little square. There we go. On the sides. Now, I've done this before, and I did it for a party. So before I put the little cookie crumbles and the zest of lime, I actually put some whipped cream on there and then put that on top. That gave me like a thicker slice. That way the presentation looked a little bit better. And you know, you had the whipped cream on top to add another dimension of flavor. And look at that, you guys. Oh, look at those layers in there. Can you see that? All right, let's put it on a plate, and there it is, served up on a plate. Looks so good. You guys, I already licked some off my fingers. And I want you to see in there so you can see the way the layers look in there, the cookies. Awesome, but like I said, you don't have to cut it out. You can grab a scoop, big spoon, scoop it out like that, like almost like a banana pudding. All right, let's give this a taste. All right, everyone, I also wanted to mention that you could decorate this a little further by putting a little slice of lime on the top here. I just added a half, and we'll cut them thin and then cut them in half. Just put a little bit on top. Mine looks a little messy, the first bit that I took out. I did do another one because I wanted to do a picture. So how much prettier that looks. All right, my mouth is watering so much. Let's give it a taste. Tangy, refreshing, perfect for this time of the year, summertime, the heat. Maybe you've been working outside. Get this ready in the morning, the night before. Put it in your fridge. It'll be firm enough for you by the next day. So when you're done out in the garden, whatever you're doing, out and about, come home after dinner, something refreshing. That lime. You gotta use some Mexican limes, you guys. Now, if you wanted to change it up and use some lemons, go right ahead. Or the key limes, like I mentioned before, but you're gonna use a ton of them. So just get ready to do a lot of squeezing. Or if you want to buy the juice already done, go ahead and grab it. Just make sure it's 100% juice so you get a nice flavor. I really enjoyed making this recipe. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a nice comment down below. Let me know what you think. Have you created this before? Is this something you think you're going to want to try? If so, I think you should. It's super easy, you guys. You can get your kids involved in making it, put it together if they want to. And if you want to make it for a party, double up your recipe, triple it, put it on a big dish. Like I said, put a whipped cream topping so that it gets a little bit thicker, and you can have a really beautiful dessert to show off to your friends. All right, everyone, if you're enjoying the content of my video, please subscribe and then choose all notifications so that you get notified as soon as I upload a video. My mouth is watering, you guys, that's why I'm talking like this, so forgive me. I'm going to thank everyone for joining me and watching my video. And if you watched the whole thing, thank you again very much. And as always, enjoy.